Okay, is this again is sum review number 2. Okay, and this is number 11, and our function is another trinomial like we had number 9. Just a negative in front of the square term, 2x, so negative x squared plus 2x plus 4. So again, we're going to use our difference quotient. Okay, so we're just going to, every time we see an x, we're going to put an x plus h in this part, then subtract the f of h from that, see what happens. So this is a little bit longer here as far as all the steps. So my function was negative x squared, so negative x plus h squared plus 2 times x plus h plus 4, minus the original function, negative x squared plus 2x plus 4 all over h. I just have to simplify this out, and I did do an extra step on this one when I had a coefficient, just to play it safe. So when we square this, we get x squared plus 2xh plus h squared, and then we can multiply this out, 2x 2h plus 4, positive x squared, negative 2x, negative 4 all over h, so that's all simplified, and then we'll remove this parentheses, so take an extra step just to play safe. And we have negative x squared, negative 2xh, negative h squared, and then again the 2x, 2h, plus 4, plus x squared, negative 2x, negative 4, and notice again what happens. The square terms cancel, the linear terms cancel, and the numerical terms cancel. So everything cancels except for the terms that have an h. So that was the 2xh, the h squared, and the 2h. Everything else canceled. And then again we could factor out an h, so these h's cancel, and this is what we have left. So again, we're going to try to get rid of this h in the denominator. That's what's going to cause trouble. So that's the trick. Okay. And number 13, another trinomial. So again, we'll put this into the difference quotient. You want to memorize this because we're going to use this a lot in our definition, our formal definition of derivatives. And then again, we just make that substitution. And I tried to show all the steps, even use color coding to help you. So instead of negative 2x squared, it's negative 2x plus h squared plus 5x plus h plus 7 minus negative 2x squared plus 5x plus 7. Then I multiplied out this binomial, and again I took an extra step. Some of you might try this by skipping steps. You got to be careful. X squared plus 2xh plus h squared. I can multiply 5x, 5h plus 7 plus 2x squared, negative 5x, negative 7 all over h. I guess that makes sense. Okay. And then I can multiply out here, negative 2x squared, negative 4xh, negative 2h squared, and then everything else is the same. Comes down, comes down, comes down, comes down, comes down. And then again, the squared terms, the x squared terms cancel, the linear terms cancel, and the numerical terms cancel. So all that's left is the negative 4xh, negative 2h squared, and 5h. And again, we have an h in each of these terms that I could factor out. So I factor out that h. And the purpose of this is going to help us get rid of the h in the bottom. So this is all that's left. Negative 4x, negative 2h plus 5. So that works out kind of nice. And the ones you're dealing with will work out one way or another. Okay, and that was number 13. Let's take a look at number 15. Believe me, it takes a while to write these all out with all these colors and stuff. I can explain them a lot faster than I can write them out. But it saves time, so you don't have to download such a longer video if I work these out step by step. But it would take a little time. So that it's a little bit easier to do it ahead of time. I hope that makes sense for you. Okay, so again, this is my f of x, 2x squared minus x plus h. And every time I see the x, when I write the difference quotient, f of x plus h, every time I see an x there, I'm going to put an x plus h minus the f of x. So there's my initial substitution. I want to be careful on this one. So this is negative 2x squared, x plus h squared minus x plus h plus 3, and then minus the original function, negative 2x squared minus x plus 8 plus 3 all over h. Then I'll square this out, and again I'll use that extra step so I don't make an error with the coefficient. So it's going to be x squared plus 2xh plus h squared, all multiplied by a negative 2. Comes from up there. And then negative h, negative x, negative h, plus 3. Negative times a negative is positive 2x squared, plus x, negative 3 all over h. Now I'll multiply out by this negative 2. Negative 2x squared, negative 4xh, negative 2h squared, and these all come down. This is just as rewrites here. And then again, my x squares cancel, my x's cancel, and my numerical terms cancel. If that doesn't happen, you probably made an error. You want to go back and check and find out what you did wrong. And all that's left again are terms with h's. Negative 4xh, negative 2h squared, negative h. And then again, we've got an h in each of these terms, so I can factor that out. And then what's going to happen is those h's will cancel, and this is what we have left. So these are all the steps, and make sure you can kind of follow all of this one. And number 17, f of x just equals 6. Now, you see there's not an x over here. So it doesn't matter what x is. It's always 6. It's a constant function. So f of x, if I write my quotient difference, f of x plus h minus f of x over h, well, it doesn't matter what's in here. This function is always going to be 6, so it's just 6 minus 6 over h, which is 0 over h, which is just 0. So we get off kind of easy on that one. Okay?